Well, hello, everybody. I guess you're all wondering why I got all this crap strewn out here, but the reason is I've had a couple people ask me what I carry in my overnight backpack when I do a overnight hiking trip out on the trail. So I thought I'd lay it all out here and go over everything. So I guess the first thing we need to talk about is the actual backpack itself. I carry a Gregory Zulu 65 um, on these overnight trips. It's a 65-liter backpack. Um, very comfortable backpack. Now it's not ultra light by any means. This thing weighs 4 pounds. So if I was, going to do a through hike or hiking, for several days, I would carry something else that's a lighter weight because you can get a good ultralight backpack that's only half that. But for these, 1 to 3 day trips, this is good for me. But anyway, that's the backpack. Like I said, it's a Gregory Zulu 65. And like I said, these things are, if you've never carried a Gregory, they're like the Cadillac of comfort. Man, those things are comfortable to carry, even loaded down. But that's the backpack. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about is the tent. And I'm going to be carrying the Near Zero Dynalite 2-person tent. I really like this tent. Last time I carried it was back in September, and it really poured the rain. This thing didn't leak at all. It's very well ventilated, so you don't have a lot of condensation issues, and it only weighs 3 pounds 5 ounces. But this is a very good, well-made tent, and I've been extremely happy with it. And that's what I'm going to be carrying for the tent. Now, moving on to the sleep system, I'm going to be carrying the Near Zero Feather insulated inflatable mattress. This thing's got a 3.7 R value for insulation, so it'll help keep you warm. And this is the Near Zero inflatable pillow that I'll be sleeping on. And now it is supposed to be really cold. I'm going to be camping on the trail Halloween night, tomorrow night. And they've already issued freeze watches, and they're saying where I'm at, I'm going to be like 3,500 feet in elevation. So I'm figuring it's going to get down to at least 28, 29 degrees, somewhere around that range. So I'm packing my Peralta 25 degree sleeping bag, and it's by Near Zero. I really like this sleeping bag. It works very well. But it's rated down to 25 degrees. But to be on the safe side, I'm also going to take my Paria Outdoors Thermodown 15 degree quilt. And this is a down quilt. It's down. And it's very warm. Like I said, it's rated down to 15 degrees. So I'm going to take it in case the sleeping bag isn't enough. I can get this quilt out and unfurl it and throw it over the top of them, and it should be fine. But that pretty much sums up the tent and sleeping gear. Now moving right on along, I'll be carrying this little pump in there. This is what I use to blow up the air mattress and everything with. It works very well. It'll blow that air mattress up in about 30 seconds. It also has a built-in light here in the bottom, and I can hang it up in the tent and use it as like a lantern to light up the inside of my tent. But this thing's rechargeable. Like I said, after you're hiking up the side of a mountain, huffing and puffing all day hiking, you don't want to get to camp and have to do a bunch of huffing and puffing to blow your bed up. So I cheat and carry this little pump, and it works very well. The next thing I'm going to talk about is my water filtration. This is my water filtration gear. I carry it all in this mesh bag. I have 2 CNOC bags in here. Put dirty water in one out of the creek and hook it up to the Sawyer squeeze filter, which is in here. and then I can hook the empty clean water bag to it and use it as a gravity system. And that comes in real handy. I've got all the connection stuff in here, couplings and all for the gravity system. When you first get to camp, you can fill up a bag. These are 2-liter water bags, but you can fill up a bag, hook the other one up to the bottom, hanging up a tree, and let it sit there and gravity filter while you do other things like setting up camp, setting up your tent and all that stuff. And you're not sitting there actually squeezing the bag into a container, filtering it. You're letting gravity do it. So that saves a lot of time and it's really handy. But that's what all is in there. I've got, like I said, I've got the Sawyer Squeeze, 2 bags. I've got extra washers because the washers are bad to fall out of these. So I always keep extra spares, couplings and everything. It's all in that mesh bag. All right, moving on down to the next thing. This is my sitting pad, which is just a fold up piece of foam that I put down to sit on, keep my butt from getting wet. Moving right on along here, we got the first aid kit. I got all kinds of bandages, blister care, tweezers, medication, aspirin, ibuprofen, Tylenol, what all. It's all in here. I always carry that. I carry this whether it's my day pack, I'm just doing a day hike. When I do an overnight, I'll take it out and put it in my overnight bag. All right, moving on up here, I've got my cook system. I have the Near Zero ultralight stove. This thing weighs just a little bit over an ounce. Really like it, works very well. I have the Near Zero pot to go along with it to cook in. I got a little sponge in there to clean it with. I have the long handle Toaks polished spoon to eat with. That's real good for getting down in those dehydrated meal packets. I have my collapsible Sea to Summit coffee cup, and also a collapsible bowl in here, so if I want to share food, I've always got something to put it in. And then I've got my isobutane canister, and it all fits in this little mesh bag. So that's my cooking system there. All right, moving right on up to my electronics. I've got my Near Zero Comet headlamp, which I really like this thing. It's really bright. I have my Garmin InReach satellite communicator, because a lot of places I go, I don't have any cell phone service, but this thing is direct satellite link. And, if something happens, I can send text messages through this thing, just, to let people know what's going on, where I'm at, if I made it okay, blah, blah, blah. It also has an SOS button built in. You take that cover off there, and you hit that SOS, and it automatically connects you with rescue personnel. And it automatically sends your location via GPS, so they can send out the rescue squad or whatever if something bad happens to you. I always carry that with me, whether I'm just day hiking or backpacking or whatever, because you never know what may happen. Most places I go, I do not have cell service, so you got to have a way to get out in case something happens. And I mean, it's cheap. The service is like $11 a month or something for the satellite service. If you do a lot of hiking like I do, this is just, this is a peace of mind to have right here in case something happens to you, just so you'll always be able to get out and reach help if you need it. Here I have 2 battery banks in this Ziploc. I carry a lot of camera gear and stuff because I'll be taking pictures and videoing my hike. I've got 2 10,000 milliamp power banks in there, plus all the cords I need to charge all the gear I got. This here, since it's going to be cold, this is an insulated electronics pouch, because the cold weather will zap your batteries pretty quick. So at night, I'll be putting everything in that to help them, not die so fast from the cold weather, because like I said, it is supposed to be pretty cold. I will be carrying this razor tooth saw with me because we will be having a campfire. I really like this. It's lightweight, it cuts very fast. You can cut some large diameter limbs and stuff with this thing in just a minute. I mean, it's fast. I really like that. I'll be taking that with me. I have a fire starter kit here that I carry in my backpack. I've got all kinds of lighters, striker tools, little zip fire starters, and I even have a big Duraflame starter in there. That way you make sure you have a campfire if you want to have it. This is my rain poncho. It's just a basic poncho that packs down small. And here is my toiletry bag. You know, got my toothbrush, toothpaste, toilet paper, cat hole shovel in there, cat hole trowel. Because you know you got to go in the woods when you're out there. But all that's in there. I carry a multi-tool with me when I'm out there, just in case I need to work on something breaks, and have something to work on it with. Microfiber towel. This is one of those really absorbent towels that will absorb a lot of moisture. And this is good to have, you know, to dry your hands or whatever while you're out there on trail. I've used it to, you know, in tents I've had in the past, if I got water inside the tent, I've used this to wipe and clean the water up because, like I said, it's holds a whole lot of moisture and it works really well, so I'll have that with me. Like I said, it's going to be cold, so I will be having my merino wool beanies and gloves and whatever. Probably end up might even have to sleep in those. These will more or less be used at night. I'm taking them just in case I have to put them on my hands and my head to keep my head warm while I'm trying to sleep at night, because I get cold at night if it's real cold. And I also have some hot hands. I'm going to take a couple of these because learned this from through hikers over the year. You can take these hot hands and activate them and stuff them down in your sleeping bag when it gets real cold, and it'll keep you warm. So I'll have a couple of those. Now moving right on to the food. This is my actual food bag here that I got all rolled up. But this thing will unroll and I'll be putting all of my food in it at night. And inside this is also my bear hanging kit. I got my bear cable and all that to throw up in the tree. And then I'll take this food bag and put all my food in there, snacks, and make sure all the food's out of the backpack, snacks are out of the backpack, all in this bag, and goes up the tree to keep bears from getting it. Because you do not want to be sleeping with any food in your tent or your backpack and have your backpack in your tent or something like that, because where I'm going there are bears. I just was up there the other day looking around, and there was fresh bear crap all over the ground. So there's lots of bears in the area up there. So definitely want to be hanging all food and snacks. Like I said, at the end of the day before we decide to get in the tents to go to bed for the night, all food, snacks, everything will go in this bag, and then it'll be hung up in the tree. Now moving right on to the food and snacks. I got food here laid out. This is going to be Friday night's dinner. I got a Peak Refuel sweet pork and rice and a peach cobbler, and I'll actually be sharing this peach cobbler with my hiking buddy. I won't be eating all the peach cobbler. And then Saturday morning, this is my breakfast. I'll be having granola with milk and blueberries and a Pro Meal on the Go bar. And then I have a beverage Ziploc here that's got some hot chocolate. My hiking buddy asked me to please bring some hot chocolate because it's going to be cold. So we can sit around the campfire and drink hot chocolate Friday night. But I'm going to have that. I've got my coffee in here. I drink the Maxim coffee out on the trail. These sticks have the coffee and the creamer and all in there already mixed up. You just open them up, put them in your cup, and add water. You're good to go. I've also got some mix-ins for sitting around camp, get thirsty. I can make up some, some flavored water, whatever, got all that. And then, of course, we got plenty of snacks. Now, I won't be taking all this. This is just stuff I've got to pick through. I got to go through it and decide what I'm going to take. But I always carry, like, beef sticks and trail mix, beef and cheese sticks. Got some packaroons, some candy to get a little sweet kick while you're going up the trail. And I also have my electrolyte mix-ins to keep good and well hydrated. Some liquid IVs and some drip drops to add to my water. But besides that, that's about everything that I'll carry in there. Besides my clothes, I'll have extra socks and a pair of extra socks and a pair of extra underwear. In case I get wet, fall in a creek or something, you always want to be able to at least have dry socks and underwear to put on. I will be carrying a base layer that I'll probably be sleeping in. But that's pretty much it. That's pretty much everything that'll go in my backpack. I hope I can have the weight down 25 pounds or less by the time I get all this packed in there. But anyway, I just, like I said, I had some people asking me what all I carried, and I thought I'd just lay it out here and show you. Anyway, I hope you all are having a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later.